Hey friends, welcome back to SourceFedNERD. I'm all alone today, but in the grand scheme of things, we all are. Let's get into the news. The team here sticks their nose all around Twitter every single day trying to sniff out any upcoming stories, and yesterday we got a tease of something we knew would drop today because the official Marvel Twitter account tweeted the word tomorrow with the graphic saying we should pay attention to what they have to say at 7 a.m. And oh boy did they drop a doozy! This morning they followed up with this tweet. We teamed up with @Square Enix for a multi-year, multi-game partnership starting with the Avengers Project. And boom, they dropped a little teaser on us too. And really, we just have so many questions. Or I gotta remember I am alone. First off, let's talk teaser. So it opens with a pair of cracked glasses and a smashed up cell door, so maybe like Bruce Banner's glasses after he hulks out. Thor's hammer hanging out in some rubble and then getting struck by some of that marvelly blue lightning. And then Iron Man's gauntlet struggling to power up. There's a voiceover that talks about the heroes the world needs, and the most interesting part is that she says at the end, we just need to reassemble, as that hashtag appears on screen. So not a lot of info there, but the questions. 1, reassemble? Does that imply that this game is going to connect to the Marvel Cinematic Universe where the Avengers are still in shambles after the events of Civil War? Or has something else got them all smashed apart? Also, who is talking right now? Well, a lot of people connected the fact that Brie Larson, our upcoming Captain Marvel herself, did retweet this announcement, and the voiceover kinda sounds like her.
We just need to reassemble.
Except I don't really hear it personally. It sounds even younger than Brie Larson to me. But either way, it's a young-ish female voice, and she says, we need to reassemble. So another possibility about this game is that it could center around a female character, and yeah, if it's Brie Larson's voice, that could be Captain Marvel. But a way more out there theory is that this could finally be a way to bring Squirrel Girl to more mainstream fans. And I totally doubt this theory. Now let's talk about the gameplay itself. Yes, this was a major announcement from Marvel joint with Square Enix, and as you probably know, Square Enix is mostly known for Final Fantasy and other Japanese RPGs, so it makes you wonder if that's what we're getting? An Avengers RPG where our favorite heroes are all like crazy hot and they have those big ol' eyes? Or maybe a game where you create your own hero and you level them up as you go. And here's the real deal. The creative team on this game is actually Crystal Dynamics, the Square Enix subsidiary company that is most recently known for the new Tomb Raider games. You can also throw in Eidos Montreal, known for the Deus Ex games, and so that all means we're much more likely to get something in the vein of those games. And being totally honest, I much prefer that, personally. I don't want to make my own lame-ass character. He's gonna suck. I want to wield Thor's hammer. And those recent Tomb Raider reboots are really good, and I honestly prefer adventure games in general because I'm way too impatient for that real extreme open world and leveling, and I just like a well-told, well-paced story. That said, I love the Arkham franchise, and I personally think there are some good RPG elements in those games that make it so you can have the best of both worlds. And considering that the superhero game genre has been a real tough nut to crack, with the Arkham games being the first big breakout hits, it wouldn't be a bad model for them to follow. Okay, moving on. Let's revisit a huge part of that tweet. It says multi-game. And also in the press release and video description, they talk about a new universe you could play in for years. Guys, I think we are getting a Marvel gaming universe, the MGU. That is my favorite part of this announcement. Forget everything I just said about needing a specific type of genre game, because every character can get the type of game that fits them best. Like fine, go full-on RPG with a Thor on Asgard game, but then give me a freaking Iron Man VR game that I will spend the rest of my life inside of. Now, this isn't the only Marvel game coming. We've also told you about the recent Marvel vs. Capcom announcement. There's the Telltale Guardians of the Galaxy game that we're supposed to get at some point, and the biggie is the recently announced Spider-Man game by Insomniac. But those don't really sound like they're part of that new universe that this announcement mentioned. Though I guess you could technically find a way to connect the Spider-Man game. I don't think they're gonna do it. Speaking of connecting franchises though, the biggest question for me personally is where exactly are the rights with the characters that have totally messed up their cinematic rights? In other words, can we please get the Fantastic Four and X-Men and some version of Spider-Man up in this? Like, imagine you're playing as the Avengers and this threat comes out of the deep past. It's like something older than Captain America. And they're like, we need to find someone who's faced this before. And then they go in search of a long-lost Wolverine. And then he joins up and we get some version of the new Avengers. That'd be the shit. Now, not only might the rights be kind of weird in the video games too, but even if they're not, you gotta remember that Marvel is still in that weird place with mutant kind where they're like, aren't Inhumans real cool, guys? Wouldn't you say they're even better than the mutants, right? Hashtag alternative facts. Side note, isn't it it crazy that Marvel is just finally getting their act together here? Like, yes, they've had games before, but the DC properties have been kicking ass in the gaming world. We already talked about Arkham. Injustice was amazing. It's such a good story in there. The Batman Telltale game, it's just about time is all I'm saying. What's exciting is that this kind of competition might be real good for DC too, since an Avengers game taking off could finally get them to realize they can make non-Batman games. They can make a real Justice League game that we've needed for way too long. Okay, some last little questions. The new Spider-Man game is gonna be a PS4 exclusive, so is that gonna happen here? Well, rumor has it that the Spider-Man deal could have been part of that Sony Marvel arrangement that got the character into the MCU, so ideally this will not be exclusive to a single console. Also, since this is Square Enix doing it, will the Kingdom Hearts games finally get Marvel superheroes? If so, I hope they go ahead and make them look like they belong in that game, rather than the way they jammed in Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow. Looks real creepy. Oh, and finally, if this whole announcement has given you like the most tremendous nerd boner, get ready to lose it entirely. Because in the press notes, we see that apparently we won't even get new details about this game or games until 2018. Like, not the game, even just the details about the game. And I doubt that's gonna be January 2018. So what I'm saying is, I just hope we make it to 2020, because that really might be when we get our first bit of actual gameplay footage. So I'm sorry about all this and making you, wait, what? I'm hearing we have gameplay footage now. Go ahead, roll it. They did it! That looks so good! Oh my god! And subscribe to this channel to get more updates on this and other nerdy stuff as it comes. Also hit like on this video and share it with any of your friends who might be interested in a little more info about this admittedly really badass company team up. I've been Lonely. See you next time. Bye. They got 14 nominations? That's huge.
That's tied for the most Oscar nominations ever, which only happened before with Titanic and All About Eve.
There's a man.
Oh! His face is gone.